Evidence of Death, written by Peter Ritchie, read by Sean Barrett. Chapter 1. Patrick Bobo McCartney was a horrible wee shite, and even his mother said that she should have strangled him at birth. His old man was a professional pisshead, and in his cups he often claimed that he was ashamed of his one and only child. To be fair, he couldn't have worked out that Bobo was nothing to do with him, the boy having been given life against the back wall of a social club in the East End of Glasgow. Bobo's mother could barely remember anything about the man the next day, other than that he'd told her she was a doll and had bought her enough drink for her to say thank you in the only way she knew how. The accident, as his mother liked to call him, was raised in Easterhouse, though his parents basically gave up on him when he was old enough to walk. His character was formed on the streets with all the other kids whose families had been numbed by a cocktail of deprivation, cheap booze, drugs, and boredom. At least Bobo had been left something in his genes that made him a bit harder, a bit more aggressive, and slightly less thick than the rest of his gang. The downside was that it gave him serious delusions of grandeur. His team competed in their share of street battles with other gangs, became combat-hardened, and earned just enough to buy dope cut so much it wouldn't have put a bedbug under the influence. They got by running the odd packet of gear across the city for the next league up. That's how it was on the ladder. Bobo's level, the next level, and the next, on up to the lazy bastards at the top, who watched all those daft wee fuckers below them take the risks, plus the time inside. There would be a form of stability for a while, and then one of the levels would get a bit of energy, decide it was time to move up. This tended to result in an outbreak of gang-related violence, as the constabulary liked to call it, and then it would all settle down again while the hospitals or the mortuary dealt with the wounded and the dead. Bobo's team were in their late teens now, restless and wanting to move up a division or two. They were just back from Celtic Park, where they'd watched the Hoops stuff Motherwell 3-1. They'd screamed at the enemy all through the match, singing songs about Ireland and a history they knew nothing about, besides the sectarian slogans they'd been force-fed since birth. They invaded a boozer and calmed themselves on tenants and analysing the game. Bobo wanted to talk some business, but let them get a few pints in the blood first, before discussing his master plan. It was a fucking beauty, and he was twitching with nerves and a couple of pills he'd slipped at the match with his Diet Coke. Bobo regarded himself as the brains in the team, because he read every day, and that made him different. In fact, he was obsessed with reading, but there was only one subject.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?